stress and fatigue. So obviously, I'm pretty sure you're stressed and fatigued listening to it. Listening to me talking about institutional racism is exhausting. And so imagine what is it like to experience it every day. It puts us in a chronic state of stress. Now our body has hardwired what we call fight or flight. And so fight or flight basically is this response of our body when we perceive a threat, right? Anything that we perceive as coming to harm us is activated. And so there's things that our body does to eliminate that threat. And it is a state that we are in. And when the threat is removed, our body is supposed to go back to what we call homeostasis. Well, when you constantly have threats, then your body is constantly in a stress mode. And chronic stress and being in that active fight or flight mode has health implications that we're going to talk about. And we've seen that kind of trickle down into the Black community specifically. There's some health conditions that we disproportionately have to manage. And anytime you see disproportionate, you know it's systematic. What do we mean by disproportionate? When one group is more impacted as opposed to another group, we know that something systematically is happening. We have to figure out what it is. Almost always, 98% of the time, one portion of what's happening is systemic racism. There may be other factors like biomarkers or environmental stressors and so forth, or coping skills or habits or lifestyle, but we know what set it in place most often is that chronic having to face institutional racism. So chronic stress and fatigue, it is a threat, right? It's this long-term and daily stress that becomes a threat to our wellness that's rooted specifically in just our racial identity, which means it's just by function of being Black, you're going to have greater odds of having to come into contact with institutional racism, and subsequently you're going to experience more chronic stress and fatigue.